Amara and Tenny had been best friends for as long as anyone could remember. They grew up on the same street, went to the same schools, shared secrets, dreams, and even clothes. People often called them sisters, and for a long time, that's exactly how it felt. But as they grew older, something began to change. It wasn't loud. It wasn't obvious. It started quietly, like a shadow forming behind a bright light. Amara had always been beautiful, not just in a normal way. Her beauty stood out. Smooth skin, bright eyes, a smile that made people turn their heads without even realizing it. Wherever they went, attention followed her. At first, Tenny didn't mind. Whenever someone complimented Amara, she would smile proudly and say, "That's my best friend," and she meant it. But over time, the compliments became constant. "Amara, you're so pretty. Amara, you look like a model. Amara, can I get your number?" Tenny would stand right there, smiling, waiting, hoping someone would notice her too. Sometimes no one did. One evening, they attended a small birthday party together. Music played softly in the background, laughter filled the room, and for a moment, everything felt normal again. Until they walked in. Heads turned almost instantly. Not at both of them, at Amara. A group of girls whispered to each other, glancing in her direction. A guy nearby nudged his friend and pointed. Before Tenny could even settle in, someone walked up to Amara. "Hi, I don't mean to be forward, but you're really beautiful." Amara smiled politely, clearly used to it. Tenny looked away. She told herself it didn't matter. She told herself she was overthinking. But then another person came, and another, and suddenly she felt invisible in a room she had just entered. Later that night, as they walked home under the dim streetlights, Tenny's silence grew heavier with every step. Amara noticed. "You've been quiet," she said gently. "Are you okay?" Tenny forced a small laugh. "I'm fine." But she wasn't. They walked a few more steps before Tenny suddenly stopped. "It's always you." Amara turned. "What?" "It's always you that people notice. Always you that they talk to. Always you that they want." Amara blinked, confused. "Tenny, what are you saying?" "I'm saying," Tenny continued, her voice tightening, "that the only reason you get all this attention is because you're prettier than me." The words hung in the air like something sharp and irreversible. Amara took a step closer. "That's not true. You're beautiful too." "Please," Tenny cut in. "You don't get it. You've never had to try." Amara's expression softened. "Try for what?" "To be seen." That night they went home separately. And for the first time in years, they didn't talk before going to bed. Days passed, then weeks. On the outside, everything seemed normal again. They still hung out, still laughed, still acted like nothing had changed. But inside Tenny, something was different. She had started noticing things she used to ignore. The way people's eyes lingered on Amara, the way compliments came so easily to her, the way social media posts of Amara got more likes, more comments, more attention. It became impossible to ignore. One afternoon, Tenny stood in front of her mirror, staring at her reflection. She tilted her head, turned sideways, adjusted her posture. Then she whispered quietly, almost like a confession. "If I looked like her, everything would be different." That thought stayed with her. It followed her through the day, through the night, until one evening, while scrolling through her phone, she saw something that made her stop. A video. A girl smiling confidently, showing her before and after. The difference was shocking. Her body had completely transformed. Curves in the right places, smooth shape, confidence radiating from her smile. The caption read, "Best decision I ever made. #ABL transformation." Tenny's eyes widened. She kept watching. More videos, more transformations, more comments praising beauty, confidence, attention. For the first time in a long time, she felt hope. "This is it," she whispered. "This is what I need." At first, she kept it to herself. She researched quietly, watched countless videos, read stories, compared results. The more she watched, the more convinced she became. This wasn't just about beauty anymore. It was about being seen, being wanted, being enough. Finally, one day, Amara found out. "Tenny, is this true?" she asked, holding her phone. "You're planning surgery?" Tenny didn't deny it. "I'm tired," she said simply. "Tired of what?" "Being invisible." Amara stepped closer. "You're not invisible." Tenny laughed softly, but there was no humor in it. "Easy for you to say." "I'm serious," Amara insisted. "You don't need to do this." But Tenny shook her head. "You don't understand. You've never had to feel this way. You've never had to compete." "I'm not competing with you." "Well, I am," Tenny snapped. The room fell silent. "I just want a chance," she continued, her voice breaking. "Just one chance to be noticed first." Amara reached for her hand, but Tenny pulled away. "I've already decided." The day of the surgery arrived faster than expected. The clinic was cold, quiet, too quiet. Tenny sat on the edge of the hospital bed, her hands slightly trembling. For a moment, doubt crept in. What if something goes wrong? But then another thought pushed it away. No, this is my chance. A nurse walked in. "We're ready for you." Tenny nodded slowly. As she lay down on the surgical table, bright lights filled her vision. Her heart raced. Fear and excitement collided inside her chest. After today, everything changes. Hours later, Amara sat in the waiting room. She had come, despite everything, despite the argument, despite the distance between them. Something didn't feel right. Time passed slowly, too slowly. Then finally, a doctor walked out. His expression was serious. "Are you here for Tenny?" Amara stood up quickly. "Yes. How is she?" The doctor hesitated. "There were complications." Her heart dropped. "What kind of complications?" "She's not responding well. We're doing everything we can." Inside the operating room, tension filled the air. Machines beeped rapidly. Doctors moved quickly. Tenny's body was struggling. Her system was shutting down. They tried to stabilize her, tried to bring her back, but it wasn't working. And then, the sound changed. A long, steady beep. Flatline. Silence filled the room. Amara didn't need to be told. The moment she saw the doctor's face, she knew. "No," she whispered. But it was already over. Days later, the funeral was quiet. Too quiet. People spoke in hushed voices. She was so young, so full of life. Amara stood there, unable to move, unable to process. Her best friend was gone. Not because she wasn't loved, not because she wasn't enough, but because she believed she wasn't. That evening, Amara stood alone in front of her mirror. She stared at her reflection. For the first time, she didn't see beauty. She saw guilt, pain, regret. "I wish you knew," she whispered softly. "I wish you saw what I saw." Tears rolled down her face. "You were already enough."